What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about The Last of Us Day 2020. Now, this is going to be taking place, I believe, on September 26th, so Saturday. This is in place of Outbreak Day. Remember, it used to be called Outbreak Day. They changed it, obviously, because of what happened this year. But I want to talk about two things with this. I want to talk about if we are going to get the multiplayer announcement, either or, if we're going to get the PS5 version for The Last of Us Part 2, that announcement. They definitely leave the door open, and so I want to talk about that really quickly. Before I get started, though, I do want to promote my Twitter, and I also want to say, if you guys haven't already subscribed, red subscribe button right underneath the video. I know a lot of people that watch these videos aren't actually subscribed. Hopefully, I've done enough to earn a subscription. If you guys want to unsub later, totally cool, but hit that red button below. And also, again, Twitter, Podcast Now 15 is my Twitter username. If you guys aren't already following me over there, I have a ton of fun. You know, there's a lot of toxicity on Twitter. I love it. I thrive on it. But again, if you guys haven't followed me over there. Okay, so they talk about in an Outbreak Day in general, okay, for the past several years, they're not always like the biggest things in the world, right? And sometimes I do get myself hyped up. I do get myself like overexcited for things like this, anniversary days for games. And different games sometimes will have different days, like even like a Mass Effect, like N7 Day. Sometimes they'll be bigger than other years. Sometimes they'll be this year I think actually could be a really big one because of the Mass Effect rumors of the game. But so for Last of Us, same thing. Sometimes Outbreak Day is honestly nothing. Sometimes they'll do like new merchandise, new things you can buy or support from them, which is fine. I mean, it's merchandise for a game, obviously a very popular game. Nothing wrong with doing that. And they'll sometimes they'll use it to kind of spark or say like, okay, well, here's the people that helped us make it. I mean, they'll do all sorts of different kind of things. For this one though, now they specifically mentioned in the blog post that there's going to be announcements, like very exciting announcements that they'll talk about on that day. Now, again, I don't want to get myself too hyped up, and you could say, well, the title definitely is a pretty, grabbing thing that they could do for The Last of Us Part 2, and I agree. Look, and by the way, this is kind of like independent on if you hate or love Last. I mean, we're just talking about what's coming. It's okay if you love the game. It's okay if you hate the game, okay? I guess I should make that very clear. But I've been saying for a very long time, I think there should be and is a PS5 version of this. Now, again, to be clear, I mean a PS5 upgrade where if you have the PS4 version, you get the PS5 version. You would get it free. It's got all of the fancy features, right? You obviously can play it backwards compatible. If you have it on PS4, you can play it backwards compatible on PS5, but I'm talking about literally a free upgrade. So if you buy Miles Morales on PS4, you get the PS5, you get the free upgrade for that game. That's what I'm talking about, okay? I think Ghost of Tsushima is also going to do one and probably will use that Legends multiplayer to help push it, but for Last of Us, I've been saying it for both Last of Us and Ghost of Tsushima, I do think there's a PS5 version. Whether it's ready for launch or not is to be decided, but I do think it's coming at some point. Maybe like a year, maybe like a Game of the Year edition, like next June. I mean, that's definitely something that could happen. We'll have to see, but I do think that's on the table. I think that is going to happen. Question is, do they announce it on the day? They could. I think it's something where that announcement specifically, by the way, is big. It gives people another game to play on PS5. Honestly, here's the deal. I mean, I played it. Do I love all of it? No. I mean, obviously, there's some story decisions. Visually, gameplay-wise, there is so much good, and that's why I've always been, it's hard to talk about Last of Us Part 2 because there are, honestly, so many things that they do that's just the best that any game has ever done, and there's also things that are very, very questionable that worked with some people, and it also did not work with some people, okay? And I completely, because I've talked about this, obviously, when the game came out, I completely understand both sides, and I have no issues. I think we can all coexist here, and for the most part, a lot of the audience has coexisted, and I greatly appreciate it. But I think this would be a pretty big thing. It wouldn't be the biggest thing in the world. Maybe that actually fits Outbreak Day a little bit more. If it's not going to be the biggest thing in the world, they could say, maybe I should stop saying Outbreak Day, right? The Last of Us Day. If they want to make it a really big thing, this can absolutely do it. But even if they say, hey, again, like merchandise, here's like, I don't know. This is the first one since the game has come out, and we haven't had this happen in, ever. I mean, there was the one I would assume. I don't even know when this started. Did this start directly after The Last of Us came out? So, I mean, it's happened one other time where an Outbreak Day or Last of Us Day has followed the game's release, but this is the first time in 7 years that has happened. So, I mean, this is, I would argue, the biggest Last of Us Day that we've ever had. So, I do think they should kind of go all out. So, that's one thing. Second thing is the multiplayer. Look, we've had a lot of rumors, a lot of leaks. There was like the leaked of the like the gameplay of it, which looks oddly similar to the first game. A lot of the same, I don't know, like when they do like 4v4 and a lot of like the icons, a lot of like things like that. Obviously, graphically, it looks completely, updated, but a lot of stuff looks the same, where it makes me kind of question if it's actually real, or if they just put the old, I guess the UI, like how it literally looks, if they just put that on the graphics of the game. I think it probably is more real than not real. Obviously, I'm not like gifted enough to know 100%. I can't actually give you guys an answer. But look, we know factions, we know multiplayer is coming to this game. I always said, so my prediction, which is probably as time goes on, it's probably going to get a little bit more wrong as time goes on. But my prediction for actually months before this game came out was that, again, they'd have the game come out and then multiplayer would come out in the fall on this game, and also that's when they would do the PS5. I feel like that's the best time to do it. I've always said, whether it's free or if you have to pay for the multiplayer, I think it's, no matter what they do, I think it's still a better overall deal if they say, hey, factions, here it is, let's show it to you. It launches November 12th. Okay, it launches November 12th with the PS5, and also we have a PS5 version of The Last of Us. You can buy it, right? Full price, you can buy it. If you have the PS4 version, you'll get the PS5 version, and on that day, so on the same day that you would get the PS5 version, multiplayer also gets added, whether, again, it's a patch, or if you have to buy it, and they could say, okay, multiplayer launches November 12th. You have to buy it. It's a $10, $20, expansion to it, and at the same time, you can also, you can either upgrade it for free, or you can buy the PS5 version. I feel like that's probably the best way to go at it. I feel like that makes the most sense. You're kind of centering your two, because those are, I would say, the two big announcements left with this game. Neil Druckmann has said they're not doing DLC for it, so the only things left is multiplayer and potentially a PS5 version of it, besides, again, being backwards compatible. So, I think that there's been a lot of talks of the multiplayer. I think it's about time we see it. I get it's a completely separate team. I get they're on their own time schedule. We don't know. The multiplayer could actually come out next year. It could come out next fall. I mean, it could take a long time. It could take a very short amount of time. I would like to believe that they're making a lot of progress and it's going to come out sooner than people. I know a lot of people, when they've announced it, thought it would come like a full year or later after The Last of Us Part 2 launches. I had always said I really don't think so. I think that it should come closer. And then, by the way, November is almost 6 months from, it's 5 months after the game launched. So it makes sense. I think it lines up quite well. If not, I think my dream can still, not necessarily a dream, prediction. My prediction can still be alive if they do all of this stuff in early 2021 instead. So we'll definitely have to see, but I do think this Outbreak Day, honestly, I think one of these two things are at least going to happen, if not both, for this Last of Us Day. I really don't see how they let it go and say, new Last of Us Part 2 merchandise, and we'll talk to Ashley Johnson and Laura Bailey, and that'll be it. You know what I mean? I don't really think, that would be big. It would be bigger than just a normal day, right? A day on this planet, but for The Last of Us Day, for something so big. Now, again, I mean, like a 10-year anniversary, that could be really big, and we'll have to see eventually when we get to that point. But again, 7 years, potentially, if this, again, started the year that it came out, 7 years, and also this is only the second time that it's happened with the game, just having launched. So I would say this is a pretty big one that they should, I would assume, go all out for. So, guys, let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Do you think we're going to get The Last of Us Part 2 PS5? Do you think we're going to get the multiplayer announcement? Let me know what you guys think. As always, make sure you're subscribed to this YouTube channel, Podcast Now. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. Again, following me on Twitter, Podcast Now 15, all of that good stuff. Thank you all so much for watching. If anything big like that is announced, by the way, I think tomorrow, if you guys are seeing this on Friday, I'll absolutely cover it, okay? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all on the next video.